This is the Popcast. We are reviewing Strange New Worlds, episode 6. And it was a fun ride. There is some serious moral dilemmas here that we're going to get into. And should they have broken the Prime Directive? Should they have not? There's a lot of questions. And because of that, I would like to see everyone here hit that comment section and let us know what you thought about Strange New Worlds. And Matt Kadish has something to say. Shane lives his life at 480p all the time.
That's right, baby.
Okay, here we go, folks. Strange New Worlds coming on up.
Be a lot quieter.
Lift us up where you cannot reach.
Yes. You want to give an overview of this?
What?
Give me your let's start off with an either an up or a down vote. How did you like this episode overall before we go break
I thought that was the end.
That's the beginning.
I liked. Okay. I
like. You want to do it at the end? It's fine.
Well, now it gives away exactly what I think of the episode.
Okay,
at the very
you're
beginning.
right. You're right. You're right. All right, that's my.
There's no intrigue.
Okay. All right. So, what is this episode about, Shane? Talk to me.
All right. So, lift us up where you cannot reach, which is the title, which tends to, I guess, make more sense as it goes along. Although I still think it's kind of a muddy title. Basically, you've got Captain Pike. He is giving the log this week, the log entry. They're entering the Magellan system. Magellan. Magellan system, a minor star cluster. Pike was there 10 years earlier as a lieutenant, and they are there on a routine survey when they come across a non-Federation shuttle under attack.
I was doing sound effects so we don't get copyright claimed.
They find out that the vessel attacking the shuttle is trying to do something, right? And so they start firing rubber bands at the Enterprise in order to, I guess, make them angry. And yeah, I mean, listen, not every civilization is really smart. I mean, I guess oh, look, there's a giant bear. Let's hit it. Let's throw a stick at it. Let's hit it in the face with a stick. I don't know. So basically, Enterprise destroys it because Uhura, which, by the way, I want to give an upvote right away.
Okay.
Because Uhura doesn't know everything this time. Like, she walks into the security stuff. She's not a pro, right out the gates.
Right. That's true.
And I want to give them credit because everything that Uhura has done, she's been like this superstar at. Well, sadly, she ends up being a superstar at the end. But in the beginning, she has no clue what she's doing, and she even makes a mistake, and she ends up basically destroying the ship. I guess they run into their phasers, but that's the way she explained it. But it looked like a mistake on her part.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. So what happens? The ship explodes, and they teleport TP. They teleport.
Crash land. Yeah.
All right, guys. Right. Yeah, we're right. They teleport a new member along the ship, and it is an old love interest. Right.
Yeah. She's like, Lieutenant Pike, is that you?
Una was like, Lieutenant. Oh, interesting.
Well, I love it. This also got an upvote for me because I loved Pike acting like a schoolboy when he sees Alora of Majalis, right?
Right.
That's her name. And then he's like such like a schoolboy, like a giddy little, like, obviously it's just I love that it's part of his character. It's not always a strength. There are weaknesses. He can't even remember Una's name. Like, he's trying to like introduce her and stuff. He's like so caught off guard. He obviously really liked this person.
Number one, or as I like to say, Una.
So that I thought I really liked that. I got an upvote.
Okay, you want to give another upvote for that? I'm not giving that an upvote.
I loved it. I like any time that you give me more of a character and I like it, you're going to get an upvote.
Okay, that's fair. I did like this character, and I'm going to give this character an upvote. I like how the aliens are.
Did you just sidestep my upvote so that you could give an upvote in another way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Because the character's cool, man. These characters are. At first, I thought they were gonna be like the typical throwaway characters. They're like Ambassador Nalax from the planet of Pujar. It's like Captain, and then you never see him again.
Right.
No. There was actual character here, and we're gonna get to it. But the dilemma that they face is, it's an actual moral dilemma. And interesting enough, a lot of the, like, remember Voyager, remember Tuvix? Everyone remembers Tuvix, right?
Yes.
Should they have killed Tuvix to save Neelix and Tuvok? Well,
I still think they should have, yeah.
I mean, like, mathematically, yes, it's 2 for 1, right? That's mathematics.
Well, yeah, mine is that Neelix and Tuvok were there before, so they deserve to still be there.
Okay, but people are saying, why couldn't you save Tuvix? Why couldn't you use the pattern buffer? Those are all kinds of like armchair quarterbacks, right? Trying to figure it out.
It was a good dilemma.
That was a good dilemma. And just like that dilemma, we have another really good dilemma. And while they try to break the Prime Directive, they are not able to, which is very interesting. We're going to get to that. So that's all that to say. I like these aliens. I like this character.
Well, I got another upvote here real quick.
Okay.
So I upvoted, I love when Pike, and I know we're a little past this, but I love when Pike explains Federation law and his conscience.
Yeah.
So when he warns that ship and he's like, hey, Federation law, you got, I'm obliged to stop and do this, and also my conscience. So it's like he was laying down the law, but he's also shooting from the hip, but he's basically saying, and by the way, I don't like what you're doing. So yeah, we're going to do something about this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Sam Kirk was in this episode. You're right, Chris.
Yes, we'll be talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we get some more stuff. Interesting. I guess he's forgetting what passage he's reading to his daughter, so he keeps reading the same thing, and so she's not remembering time the same way. So she's literally remembering that passage from seconds ago. I found that interesting. That's cool.
I thought that was cool. This also got an upvote for me. I got more depth on Mbenga's character. You could see the pain of him, as his daughter is transported like in mid-sentence. Like, I can only imagine being a parent and having to do that with my children.
Right.
It must be difficult for him, even though I know he's saving her life. It must be hard for him to put her through this.
Right. I agree. Okay. All right. Let's get past this point. All right. So they had to deal with them because they attacked the ship. And this is when the politics of their world gets shady to me. I knew there was something up, by the way. And maybe it's because I've watched a lot of Star Trek. I don't know. But clearly she's hiding something, even though she's trying to be nice.
Yeah, well, she's basically saying, look, we don't want you involved. And they're saying, well, we have to investigate it because protocols require it. And then she's like, yeah, well, I'm coming, whether you like it or not.
Right.
And it did seem like she was up to something. Like this whole episode, it seems like she's up to something.
Right.
But that doesn't really pay off.
Right. I think she was trying to hide, the fact that they're going to murder the kid.
I don't know if she was. We can talk about that later. It sure the heck doesn't seem like it.
All right, so this is when we find out that kid is pretty much genetically perfect, has all kinds of cybernetic connections and all that, right? And his father / doctor, Mbenga's ears pick up when he's like, oh, you have a way of dealing with this protein malfunction or whatever it was. I'm assuming that's because with that kind of tech, he'll help his daughter, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible. I mean, the fact that they have no disease, that their technology allows them to basically have zero disease, can cure almost anything. And that's pretty amazing. And that comes into the moral dilemma that we get to at the end. But of course, Mbenga is like, he's drooling over this, although he holds himself back because he can't say anything about his daughter.
Right.
And this kid here is just ridiculous, right? Like the kid is extraordinarily intelligent.
He's very smart.
And what I find interesting is that to be the minor, or no, sorry, not to be the minor, to be the first servant, the child that's chosen to be the first servant, they're chosen at birth by a lottery. And this child ends up becoming a holy figure. Basically, it embodies the science, service, and sacrifice of this civilization.
Right.
As we'll soon learn. But this child seems like abnormally even more brilliant than your average kid. So
yeah, Chris Redsleff just said child torture theme of the week. I mean, yeah, on Obi-Wan too.
Oh,
seemingly what's going on.
That is true.
Torturing kids. All right, so now they go to the crash ship.
You could tell the dad. Sorry, you could tell the dad was something was off right away of the boy.
Yeah, can I actually downvote this?
Sure.
I feel like it was a vehicle just to sort of show more of Ahura's character growth. And there was really no reason to go down to that ship. It's totally unnecessary. It didn't further the story at all. It didn't add anything to the story.
Well, I thought it did because they found the medallion, which was critical to being able to find out who was behind what was going on. And they found the neural device that's supposed to keep the kid's brain from being active so people can find him.
Okay.
So, they found a couple of important things that forwarded the story, but I agree we didn't need, more teaching Uhura, I guess. It's an opportunity. I understand your downvote. It's kind of an opportunity to feature other characters that aren't really in the episode. Right. But that's what I got from it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just I'm really on edge when it comes to these streaming shows that seemingly have no limit to how much time they can spend or not spend on something. And so when we get like a short episode or something and there's a bunch of things wasted, I'm like, it's stressing me out now.
Well, I got to tell you this, at least Strange New Worlds gives you 48 minutes, whereas Obi-Wan Kenobi gave us 30. So give me a freaking break.
True that.
Give me a freaking break, Disney. 30 minutes? Give me a break.
It's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Dumb. I'm giving Obi-Wan Kenobi a downvote from here, not even on this show.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In the words of Norm Macdonald, the disrespect. The disrespect. Ridiculous. All right. Yeah, more of this.
Did they show the city?
Oh, here's the city. Yeah, let's get past this. The city's sick.
Okay. Upvote.
Yeah.
Upvote. This reminds me of Cloud City of Stratos from the TOS series. I know it's not that city, but it definitely, these things are floating in the clouds.
Yeah, it's rad.
That's pretty darn cool.
So my question is, what happened to the ground?
Well, she does talk about later that down below is full of volcanic activity, and essentially, right, if what happens doesn't continue to happen, then the civilization as they know it would not, I guess, float in the clouds. So,
yeah, I wonder if this is a good permanent solution for fixing your planet, though.
Well, we can have that. Let's not have that discussion yet. Let's have it when we get there.
Okay. All right. All right. We're just going to skip it along here to the good stuff. All right. Yeah. So again, another foreshadowing.
Oh, can we go back?
Go ahead.
Can we go back? See right there. I got to give it up to Star Trek here. I want to give it a Star. Now listen, we spend a lot of time bashing on Star Trek.
Sure.
Okay. A lot of time doing it. We always tell the truth. Do you know how brave it was to make that black woman the servant to this woman right here
in 2022?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That gets an upvote. Not that she's a servant, but that wasn't even considered as an issue in 2022.
Right. Upvote me. And here's the thing: is if they're blind to it, it doesn't matter. That woman can be a servant as equally as in a white character, or it doesn't matter what it is. And I love that they didn't run away from that.
Right. I agree. 100%. That's good. All right. Now, so I want to talk about this real quick. They did a very good job foreshadowing his father/doctor.
Yeah.
And how he wasn't really he wasn't comfortable with what was going on.
Agreed.
Without actually saying it, which I thought was good, because I always thought there's something off. And then when you figure out what it is, you're like, okay, that makes sense.
I'm not sure why he was so nervous about the Enterprise, though. It's like maybe he was just nervous about the whole thing going on, but it would feel like he would almost want to embrace them for their help and support for what he's about to go through.
Maybe he didn't know that they would help him. Maybe he thought, oh man, I should be on that other planet right now. I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, maybe he sees oh my gosh, they're friends. Like the woman in charge is digging the captain of this vessel. I gotta be cool. Yeah, okay.
Right. Okay, skipping forward. Tell me if you want me to stop. Tell me.
Okay.
All right. Now this was a good scene. We should check some of the medallions. I don't understand the medallions. I don't understand the purpose of them, but I guess.
Well, it's called a the medallions are actually important because it's actually called an oath stone. And so when they have this medallion, it's their oath to protect the first servant child. Like they're sworn to it, and that coin proves it. What I didn't understand is why this person. So they found a coin on the crashed ship, right?
Right.
On the destroyed ship. So why did this guy still have a coin? That was kind of the only confusing thing.
Yeah, and she saw something wrong with it, but we didn't see anything wrong with it.
I didn't notice what was wrong with it to me. So actually, that would be a downvote for me.
Yeah, what they should have done was they should have shown an empty one. She goes, "Oh, I lost it," or whatever. Another excuse, not like
It would have been cool if he didn't have it. Yeah, and then she was like, "No, that's not going to work because I have it right here." Boom,
boom.
You know, that would have been cool.
Your ass is grass.
I would have given her an upvote if she would have said those words.
Yeah, your ass is grass, Private.
You notice how he like disintegrates the guy on the end, the guard on the end. Like there's like no coming back from that.
All right, yeah.
You know, the rest of the fight they just kind of beat each other up, but he like disintegrated that first dude.
Yeah, so all science fiction has to stop with the ability to disintegrate people with weapons. I'm getting tired of it. Because it brings up too many questions. Like, okay, so same with Stargate. You know, Zach 3 times deletes the body, and let me spend the rest of the fight fighting you with my hands.
Why didn't he just, I was going to say, why didn't he just disintegrate everybody?
That's the problem with the disintegration, with the phaser disintegration. Yeah. A lot of science fiction does this. It just shouldn't be an option. And I think they probably started it because it was easier to disintegrate someone than like show the effects of them being hurt or whatever back in the day.
Yeah. It was kind of cool. Like or not cool. It was like kind of like, oh, this is like real. This is like there's stakes at risk here. But then if the person isn't trying to like, maybe the thing can only disintegrate one person and it has to recharge enough to disintegrate others. I'll give it that.
All right. Well, the phasers don't do that. I do like this. I'm giving this an upvote because Pike was like, this is not set to stun.
Yeah.
That was good.
I love Pike, man. Everything about the guy.
Yeah, no, he's great. Pike is fantastic. It's not on stun. All right, it's cool.
It's not on stun.
It's not on stun. And I do sort of like this. I'm not going to get an upvote, but I like that she was able to handle her own with this guy. So she's a contender.
She shows why she's in charge.
Right. She's in charge. She's more than just. She wasn't just placed there. She has some fortitude.
She's more than just a politician.
All right, we're at the Sam Kirk. We're talking about Sam Kirk. Let's do it.
Dude, upvote. I need more Lieutenant Kirk, dude. Like, that was just seeing him come in. Now, we've figured out that Lieutenant Kirk is a goofball. He's the least Kirk of the Kirk bunch. He's more like, who's a goofball character on other shows?
Oh, well, like McCoy and SG-1 before Atlantis was sort of a goofball.
Yeah, so this is the goofball character. We don't have enough of him. He's dismissed quickly. Like, it's kind of like people don't really respect him very much.
I almost want to downvote because I feel like they made the mistake of not making it like an ongoing joke to almost kill Samuel Kirk.
I mean, I wish they had, but they just didn't think about it.
Not every episode, but every other episode, like, have him get hurt. Okay?
It'd be cool, yeah, or burn him or something, like Lon does here. She like burns him, right? He's like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Right. Yeah. So Uhura's struggling. Me. I don't really like the interpersonal. I understand they're important, but like,
I don't like the interpersonal.
I just don't I just don't care very much about the side stories, the B stories. You know what I mean?
I mean, the B, right. Maybe you don't care about them now, but later on when something really important happens, you'll be glad that you understand the characters better.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And we're back in the doctor's office.
He's not giving it up.
Yeah, he's not giving up the juju. And then he overhears him. The kid overhears him.
Yeah, this kid's like ridiculous. Like, smartest kid I've ever seen in a show.
Yeah, there's got to be a better way. Okay, we'll get to it.
Like, why is this kid the one? You know what I mean? Like, are all the kids from this planet this smart?
I think
they don't need.
He was like genetically altered, right?
Well, he had. I didn't. I'll be honest. I didn't really understand it. He had something inside of him that allowed him. I didn't quite get it.
And he was like
allowed him to
perfect or
heal
whatever.
really fast.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that made him more intelligent.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so Pike actually explains to this chick that he's gonna die in some way.
Yes, which is again, allowing us with that season-long story arc of dealing with Pike's ultimate issue.
Yeah, and just when you think maybe they're gonna write his death out with the introduction of this new character, then they completely lose context for obvious reasons. And okay, then. At least he gets some. You go, boy. Get it, Pike. Get it.
All right, I'm uncomfortable.
We need one of those inserts with the get it. I don't have
with the
one.
Get it.
As white dudes, if you have a problem with that.
No, that's not it.
Well, that was interesting.
Okay. Yeah. So this whole explanation. How do you feel about them sort of referencing his death constantly?
I like it. I mean, that's our story arc.
But that.
I mean, remember,
That's
we
the
gotta
story
have
arc. The story arc is something we already know is going to happen.
No, we don't know. The whole story arc is whether or not it can be changed.
Well, no. If they Shane, if they change it,
Yeah.
then
our theory is right.
There are nerds that.
No.
I know our theory is right. We're
the secret
happy.
reboot is correct.
Yes, but there are nerds that are going to literally lose their minds if he avoids death. Oh my God, bro! And then you know what? If he avoids death and they come out and go, guys, you guys don't get it. It was rebooted in Enterprise because of First Contact.
He doesn't die though. No, it's not that. He doesn't die. He becomes disformed and disabled.
Whenever he avoids his fate. Because you're saying that what if he can avoid his fate? Because is that the story arc? Because that's the story arc. That's not.
That's what he's contemplating. The contemplation of whether or not things can be changed.
I don't understand.
What he has to deal with.
I don't understand. You said that's the underlying story arc, but there's no story there. It's gonna end that way.
There.
What's the story?
You looked at the kids. He can contact the kids now. There's things he can do. He's seen his future. He could change it.
No,
he could.
No, you can't change it. It's canon.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying he could. Or he could maybe find a way to deal with it better. I don't know.
It's a bad story arc if the audience knows he can do nothing about it and the whole entire underlying story arc is his dealing with that. That's what you're saying?
Hey, well, I mean, that's all you have in a prequel. All you have is the characters dealing with this knowledge. So it's like the same thing with the Kenobi that we're talking about. Ben Kenobi is dealing with what happened to him. Well, guess what? Pike is dealing with what happened to him.
Yeah,
and when we get to the end of this season, then maybe we'll see him trying to do something or not. Maybe at the end he embraces it, but we don't really know at this point. We know what the outcome is, but we don't know how he deals with the knowledge of that outcome because we didn't even know he knew about it until Discovery Season 2 just decided to do that.
Yeah, here's the problem with that, Shane. That's a bad story arc. Just like randomly showing him dealing with it is a bad story arc.
Why is it a bad story arc?
Because
we don't even need one.
What are you talking about? You
said
it was a story arc. You said it's underlying.
It is a story arc, but I don't need one for this show.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
So it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's just there. Like I don't need a big bad at the end of this episode.
So if it's not necessary, then why are they constantly bringing it up literally every episode?
Because it's something that his character is going through.
I know, but it's
for the same reason that M'Benga's daughter is trying to figure this out, or all the other people who have issues. Mm-hmm. You could say that all M'Benga's daughter is a story arc. You could say that,
yeah, but we don't know what happens to his daughter, so it makes sense that that's a small story arc.
Dude, don't blame Strange New Worlds. Blame Discovery Season 2, the idiots. Blame those guys. Don't blame what's going on here.
I mean, let's say Discovery didn't exist. We would still. We would still be dealing with it as fans. I guess he wouldn't be.
Because right, he wouldn't know his future. he knows his future because he saw it in Discovery season 2, which is weird.
Just so you guys know, further proof that the secret reboot is obviously correct.
If it changes, because this would be part of the secret reboot.
So now I hope that we hear in the distance as nerd heads start to explode when he avoids his fate, because then I will be able to go online and say further proof the secret
that it exists. Yeah. And special shout out to Salty Trekker for that's actually his theory, and we just kind of went in and adapted it and added things and changed it around.
That's great. It's a good theory. Okay. So LNS says, Ahura, you should present your work because you did good. Okay. We're going to pass that.
So that's, and that's where I'm like, man, Uhura again. Like, Uhura figured it out once again. She saved the day. And now I gave it a upvote earlier. I guess I give it a downvote now.
No.
Yeah, I like Uhura, but please let someone else save the day, please.
Because those first couple episodes, now anytime she does something good, you're like, come on, Ahura.
I mean, it's just becoming. I mean, look, we get it. She's awesome. Like, she's amazing. All right, can we see Hemmer do something? Another episode.
Where is Hemmer?
Downvote, no Hemmer.
Yeah, I'm downvoting that too. Where is Hemmer, dude?
No Hemmer.
Come on.
2 episodes, guys. What's up? We need the blind Enar.
Yeah, it's getting excessive with no Hemmer thing. It's bothering me. All right, so I do want to upvote this though. I think the kid interacting with, so he took his daughter out of the transporter, and he's like creating like inert gases, which is sort of cool. I don't know. It just shows this kid is clearly a prodigy. He's which makes and I like this because it makes what happens to him so much worse, because you now feel a connection to this kid.
Oh, and the value of him is so much greater. Right.
Yeah. Unlike Obi-Wan, where that random guy just dies and everyone's sad, and you're like, why? Why is everyone sad?
Did Gary just get killed?
If you guys haven't seen our Obi-Wan review, after the stream, go check it out. I think there was maybe 1 upvote, 2 upvotes top the whole entire time. It was just downvote. I don't think we've wrecked the show as bad as we wrecked that episode.
No, we were doing good, but yeah.
It was doing fine. It was okay, and then it was like, oh god, that's the worst. All right. Skip past this point.
Then he lies to his dad. It's nice. Keeps Mbenga's secret.
Yep. Blah, blah, blah.
More likely you were showing off. What's up with his dad, dude? His dad seems jealous of the kid, to be honest with you. I know he's like explains it later, but to me he seems almost like jealous that he's got all this going on, or not jealous, but like he's disapproving.
I think he's upset that he's going to lose his kid. Yes, that's what's going on, and he's like,
I guess,
maybe
love the kid a little bit or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Why don't you love it on your kid before you lose him?
Right. Maybe he's mad because the kid chose it. Did he have a choice?
I don't think he did. No,
because they say he freely chooses, but
no, I mean he chooses.
Get over there, kid. Choose right.
Yeah. Apparently there's another planet, and I guess they have the same language, and it's desolate. Blah 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 blah.
Well, that explains it.
Look, you guys want to go watch the episode? You want like a play-by-play? I'm trying.
Not everybody can watch the episode, Mr. Ryan, because half of the people watching this are from another country.
Oh, is that true?
Where they don't have Star Trek.
You want to explain what happens here?
Well, I mean, we find out that basically they learn that the people from this world that this is happening to are the people that attack. Like they've started their own sect or their own separate thing going on, and they are the ones actually trying to steal the kid. Right.
So people from their world now living on another world are trying to steal the kid for what at this point it seems to be a nefarious purpose.
Yeah, and they keep shooting rubber bands at the Enterprise for absolutely no purpose, so they can potentially get destroyed somehow.
Rubber bands.
I don't know, like socks, throwing socks at them.
All right, so now they're about to be teleported.
This is great.
Yeah.
What's about to happen is great.
Oh.
Kyle's like, I don't know, Captain.
It wasn't me, Captain. It wasn't me. No, I don't.
What just happened? I don't know. That was great.
And then Pops comes back and he's like, what?
Where's my kid?
So I guess he was planning on that though, right? Like he was planning on.
We don't know that yet, but yes.
All right.
We're about to find that out. What I really love is what happens next, right? They tractor beam the ship.
Uh-huh.
They tractor beam it. Right. Tractor beam it. And then they destroy it.
Oh, yeah, because they're going to go to warp with a tractor beam on them.
Yeah, because they don't care. They know it's going to destroy them. And they're like, why are they trying to go to warp when we're holding on to them? They know they're going to be destroyed. Boom, they're destroyed, right? And it's like, and then right now, this is the scene. Pike is up there and he's like, yeah, I'm really sorry. Let us know how we can help you guys. Oh, you just destroyed him. And of course they think the kid's on board, right? And I love Pike's response is just like, yeah, things happen sometimes. It was totally
right. Yeah. We're going to all die. Right. And she didn't understand. Like, we're going to follow this guy. He's like, can you explain more about how that works?
And it's so like, it's so Federation like to say, let us know how we can like guide you through this. She's like, I don't need your guidance.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. KB Games says she was translating a freaking language that is literally her job. Talking about Uhura. How you downloaded Uhura.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So Shane has an axe to grind with Uhura right now.
Well, I'm not downvoting her because she did her job. I'm downvoting her because she's the hero every episode. And every time they make her the hero, look, I figure if you got a 10 episode season, you can be the hero like 3 times. Okay, that's fair. But when you've been the hero 4 out of 5 episodes, yeah, I'm sorry, that's too many.
Well, especially when we aren't seeing Hammer. Where is Hammer?
That got a separate downvote, but yeah.
It's driving me nuts that there's no Hammer right now.
Yep.
And I have seen, and honestly, I have no problem with LNS, but I have seen so much of this character that I need other characters, please. Like we need Hammer. We need Hammer.
We need more Hammer.
At this point, I wouldn't even mind some more Chief Kyle. Just like, come on.
Well, we don't need a lot of Hammer. We just need something every episode that he needs to do. Just like Scotty, there was something every episode that Scotty needed to do.
That's true. Beeping. Okay, and they find out that the kid was transported. I like this. So he wasn't transported to the ship that they got exploded. What's wrong with my English? That exploded. He transported himself into this container or something.
No, he didn't transport himself. His dad transported him into the container. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't fully understand how it happened, but I guess it was his dad.
So his dad basically took the medical scanner and scanned his. I guess apparently, if you scan the person ahead of time, then you can control where they get beamed to.
Oh, and they, the reason they were able to beam is because they didn't beam off the ship.
Right. Well, I don't know if that's the reason why. Their shields were down, so somebody could have beamed them out, no problem. But they were actually able to control the beam, I guess, because they had his. It is something I don't understand, but that's the way they explained it.
All right. So they take the kid back to his Cloud City planet, and he's happy. Oh, I can't wait to die. It's gonna be great.
Oh. So real quick, did we already do the part where Uhura saves the day? Yes, we did. I need to downvote La'an explaining lesson 7 to the dad who has no idea what she's talking about, nor does he need to know during this kind of intense moment where they're basically accusing them of doing something terrible.
You had so many opportunities to do this when we were sitting on this image for like 5 minutes. Okay, you're right.
Well, I mean, we talked about something else. So I thought it was dumb that she's like talking about her inner training while they're talking to this guy. So that was a downvote for me. Yeah.
KB Games and said Hammer's going to be the focus of a whole episode based on the trailers. Right, but how many episodes are left? 4, right?
Yeah, well, he's not. I don't think it's not 7.
And it's not next episode.
Yeah, it's not next episode. So 8, 9. He's got 3. There's 3 left. So hopefully he gets to be one of them.
Yeah. Who was the focus of this episode?
Pike.
Pike. Makes sense. Okay. All right,
Or Uhura. He's the focus every episode.
that's not true.
Look at KB Games is gonna get mad at me. It's like I love Uhura. Shane, stop.
I love Uhura too.
I'm sorry. I like Uhura too.
Yeah, you're right though. We need more Asian.
I do like the way she came in, like at the beginning when she comes on the bridge, and La'an's like, "Did you enjoy your break?" And Uhura's like, "Oh yeah, actually I did." And I'm like, "Oh okay, that was pretty smooth." Yeah, she didn't cow down, you know.
Salty Trekker says, "Okay, so you guys are dicks."
What? A pot calling the kettle black, brother. I've seen your reviews, man.
Her and Chapel show. Yeah, we haven't got a whole lot of Chapel either, though.
A little bit. She got her device taken from her because the dad wouldn't let her scan the boy.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess he gets This is when he
on the brig.
This is when he gets. But he's gonna take sanctuary on the Enterprise.
Yeah, but he's thrown in the brig, and we still don't know at this point. We're still like trying to figure out what the heck's going on.
Pike asked her on the planet. Pike says, "You still haven't explained how one child, this child is going to keep your city floating or whatever."
Right, and then they can't communicate with Pike, so that's a little bit alarming because they got some sort of dampening field.
Right.
So there can't be any outside influence.
Here comes the child torture.
I mean, we don't know if he's.
I'm going to upvote this actually because this whole set looks awesome. Like with the cables and all that. That's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that like the underbelly of the city or something? It
seems like it, or they're down inside. They must still be in the clouds. But when we get to the scene, I guess we can describe it now, right? So basically, they roll out this stretcher, and on this stretcher is basically the last kid who was plugged into this machine, and it's dead, and it looks like some weird alien creature that's burned out. Yeah, my question, I'm looking for that image. Why you got? It's coming up right there. Yeah, what? I don't understand. Why do you leave the dead kid in the machine? Well, no, I mean it must have recently, because obviously they got to pick another one. So maybe what I want to know is why you need to show it off. That's not cool, man. Yeah. She's like, "Oh yeah, let him come on over and see." I'm like, "How did you think that was going to go, lady? Like, did you think Pike was going to be like cool with this whole thing?" Yeah, that's a good question. And plus, shouldn't the kid that's about to sacrifice his life not have further distress seeing what's going to happen to him? Or maybe like he's got to like see it, right? Yeah, like they bring it over to him, like check out what you're going to look like eventually. But I got to say, this gets an upvote for me because using kids to power your society is so wicked, and it's such a wonderful I got upvote too. It's a wonderful homage to Serve Man. It's a cookbook moment from Twilight Zone. Oh yeah. Because you got this whole thing, you're leading up to the society, and this kid is going, he's like going to be the king or whatever the heck's going on. No disease. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, we're going to suck his juices dry. Cloud and it's like, it's a cookbook, Yeah, it's like a perfect society, but it's powered by children. So that's horrible. but here's the interesting thing about it. Like, and I do give another upvote for the moral dilemma. So I got another upvote coming. The moral dilemma here is that, and listen, if you take off your parent hat or your reasonable hat, can you give me an upvote? Oh yeah. If you take off your reasonable hat or all this stuff, and you just think for a second, because her explanation is quite good. If one child can keep 10,000 children from starving, is it worth it? A pragmatic person would say yes. Right. But the good of no one wants any child. The good of the many outweigh the good of the few. But nobody wants any child to suffer. But when you stop and if you really had to like ask yourself, is one kid worth 10,000 kids? As long as that kid wasn't mine, I would probably say yes. So I understand the dilemma of the entire, I understand the father's situation. I understand Pike's situation, and I understand her situation. Right. So that's why I thought it was such a wonderful episode. And overall, the entire episode. We haven't gotten there yet. Hold up with the overalls, man. Sorry. Are you kidding me right now? Bro.
So I agree with you, by the way, about the child thing, because
Yeah.
one of my favorite scenes in a movie is when John Travolta is talking to Hugh Jackman,
Okay. Yeah.
whatever, Wolverine guy.
Yeah. Hugh
In
Jackman.
that movie Swordfish, and he's like, what if you had to what if to save a school you had to kill a child, and he gets Hugh Jackman to basically agree that killing one or two is good is valuable. He's like, well, how about 3? How about 10? How about 10 children? When does it end? Right? And
it ends at 9,999 because 10,000 are saved.
Right.
Yeah.
That's and the whole movie was basically like, yeah, he's the bad guy, but this bad guy is necessary because he bombs the school bus so that the school can be saved. He does really bad things so that larger amounts of people, just their way of life can continue. And
Yes.
So when I'm watching this, like, I understood, and I also understood why Pike was stressing out. And he's like, "Oh, I gotta go save him," and I love how they didn't pussy out here. Sorry, they didn't.
Oh.
They didn't sissy out, and they showed what was going to happen with the kid.
Yep.
That's
dig that.
great. They showed it. They showed that the kid was gonna, and Pike going. That's such a Pike thing. Pike's trying to save the kid against all odds. He just gets smacked.
No.
Yeah, it's good. And then for him to wake up in her bed and she tries to convince him that all is good after that whole exchange, like, bro.
It shows how all in she is with her thinking process on this.
Right.
And how the bad guy isn't always the bad guy in every situation.
Right, because it's normal to her.
Right.
In fact, it's necessary. And I also liked, and one more upvote, because a lot of the times the Federation just sort of does what they want. And he's like, I'm gonna talk to Starfleet. I'm bringing it to the Federation. I'm gonna tell someone. She's like, okay, and
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. He's like, dang.
right.
No, I can't do anything about this.
Yeah, this is the way it is. We don't want it to be this way, but this is the way it is.
Right.
And that's good. And there was one more good point, honorary mention. I'm not going to give it an upvote or a downvote, but I'm going to say that, the father was able to see the other, their enemy's point of view, because basically the reason that they're living on this like desolate planet and not in luxury is because they're not willing to sacrifice kids.
Right. What they didn't also talk about is how often a kid gets sacrificed. I think that would have a lot to do with it. Like, we don't know. That little corpse was still a child. So they must go through them pretty quickly. So maybe that's like another element to why this is not so cool.
It's only 2
What if
a
we went
day.
through a child a month? It's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like because that kid was really important and they like took care of him and all that, it has to be like a little bit longer. Let's say it's once a year. That would make more sense to me. Imagine if it was like every other day. That's no big deal. No big deal. But you see, the society would be sustainable if it was like every year, because then the birth rate would kick in, right?
Okay, so let me ask you: is it a kid a year? Like, what is the? Well, and it couldn't have happened that often because they made it seem like this is something that didn't happen that frequently. But like, at what point do you think it would be okay? A kid a year, a kid a month, a kid a week, a kid every 5 years? Like, what's the okay thing here? The moral dilemma.
I'm a father, so I would let the entire city fall to the ground if it was one of my kids.
Nice. And
I would let millions die so that my kid can live one more day. But
yeah, that's
I'm
fair.
not. But I'm not. I don't know. I'm not in the future. I don't know. You know that term, like,
Well said.
burn the world down if it gave my kid a fighting chance.
Yeah. So can I give my final?
Yes, you can.
So I give it an upvote. I think it was a great episode.
Yep.
Even though it didn't have Hemmer. And if I can mess with KBG Games a little more, because he keeps getting over there ranting on me a little bit, if they, even though they had Uhura saving the day again, he's like, she's just doing her job, man.
What if in the Hemmer
I'm
episode
sorry.
she saves Hemmer?
She did.
That's right. She did. You're right.
She did in that episode.
No, but you have to know about the Hemmer. There's a Hemmer episode coming up. I take it, right?
Hemmer's been saved by everyone.
Hemmer's not next episode.
I don't think so. I mean, it could be, but we don't know everything about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt Bader said, I believe they said one a year in the show. I didn't hear
Is that what they said? I missed that one. Yeah.
I'll give it to you. And Salty Tricker said, there's no acceptable number. Yeah.
Nice. He's a dad.
Matt Bader says the same thing. No acceptable number. Yeah. So most of all, what do you guys think? How many kids need to die so that you can uphold your way of life? That's the question. And if you guys have not seen that movie, Swordfish, you need to watch that movie.
It's a good movie.
Jeez, it's such a great movie. Perspective. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the review. We're gonna wrap this up here. And what's our final score there, Shane?
We got a 6.5, baby.
That's pretty solid, I think.
Pretty good episode.
You know what's funny is that's super close to what KB said his score would be, 7.5.
Oh, all right. That's pretty good.
This is neck and neck with our other 6.5, right?
Yeah. I was giving you a hard time, KB. He's over there going, like I'm giving him a hard time. He's like, it's my perspective. I'm like, I got you, dude.
So I drink one child.
We love you, man.
So the children are like fuel. You gotta.
They're batteries, like the Matrix.
They're batteries.
They're basically batteries.
Archmage says, well, they said this kid had been picked from birth, so it would need to be more than one kid at this point. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. And Salty Trekker just gave us a super chat. You should both change your name to Richard.
But we have the same last name, Salty. It would be trouble. We would never know who you were talking to. But we get it. Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap this review up and get on to the Orville. Hit that subscribe button on the way to the comment section to tell Shane he was wrong and that Hura is awesome.
Why is it always me?